The current level of hope in the minor scraps of the Bethesda fandom that's left is currently astonishing. It is one of the most insane things ever. There's so many options to pick from. Fallout 76 is gonna be good. The Fallout Season 2 show is gonna be alright. Elder Scrolls 6 is not gonna be a disaster. But my absolute favorite one currently is the always prevalent Starfield is gonna have its Cyberpunk 2077 and No Man's Sky redemption story. That's my all-time favorite Bethesda coop that's currently out there. It's absolutely ridiculous. And here's, by the way, mission difficulty impossible for you boys. Leave in the comments the right solution, okay? I want to hear it, because I doubt that any one of you is going to figure this one out. Your mission is to save Starfield. You have infinite resources. You can do anything that you want. You have all the opportunities in the world. You have all the connections in the world. You can do anything that you want. And you need to save Starfield. And I want to hear in the comments how you actually save it. And no, before any one of you comments, because I already know what you boys are gonna write there, no, you cannot give up into fate and just accept death. Because if you fail, you obviously die, and there's no avoiding that. Okay, so no, you cannot just sit there patiently accepting fate, because there's nothing you can do to save it. Or alternatively, no, you cannot find the nearest tree branch and rope and do a Minecraft bench combo, okay? You can't do that. And no, also no, you cannot walk into bullets. No, you need to try. You need to try. That's why it's mission level difficulty impossible, okay? Man, Starfield is a joke, Bethesda is a joke, Elder Scrolls 6 is dead, Fallout 5 is probably even more dead, honestly, at this point. Yeah, I honestly think Fallout is probably the biggest dead thing, because 76 has been a disaster, the TV show has destroyed all the lore. Yeah, but this kind of has absolutely nothing left. What a great buy for only 8 billion, Microsoft. Truly money well spent, as one may say. But in any case, Bethesda has a plan to save Starfield. I can't wait, okay? I can't wait. This is from the company, by the way, that didn't fix any bugs. Maybe they fixed a bug or two in a month. Then they found out that they didn't actually fix the bugs that they said that they're gonna fix. They completely ignored all the feedback, doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down with the feedback that they did everything right with Starfield in the expansion. And my absolute favorite thing, the only thing that Bethesda has done properly, which is a bad thing, by the way, is there was this situation where people once again figured out that every Bethesda game, a vendor has a chest under them with all of their stuff, because you're actually buying from the chest, not the vendor. And when that was discovered in Starfield, that you could get under the map and loot the vendor chests, you know what Bethesda did? Now that they fixed in less than 10 hours. Yes. Game-breaking bugs that didn't allow people to play it. In there for literally months. Some people can now loot the chest under the vendor and get a bunch of caps for free. Well, we better fix that in less than a day, because that's gonna destroy everything. It is insane how absolutely piss poor Bethesda is when it comes to priorities or doing anything, honestly.
So at this point, and I'm sure many of you guys also, have largely given up on Starfield. As I've said 1,000 times before, I don't think the game is...
Brave words! I think Luke has finally given up on the idea that he's going to get the early review copy for Elder Scrolls 6.
Necessarily bad or terrible. I just think it's very meh. Like, it's functional, there's a lot of systems at play, but I just find it largely...
Dude, he sits on that fence so hard it has his imprints.
mediocre, but the nice thing about mediocre games is that they can be improved.
If someone did a genetic swap of Luke, it would be 99.9% positive with a fence.
To become good or even great. And they have taken some steps to their credit. Bethesda Game Studios has added things like the rover after the game launched. It added full modding support to allow modders to add entire expansions.
Yeah, for money. You have to pay money for slop. That's great. Wow, what a pro-consumer move.
Size DLCs to the game. And all of that is great, but it still isn't quite there. And I think for a lot of us, we've just assumed that the game has been abandoned and left to rot. And that's all great, but the game still is not where it needs to be, and certainly not where it was supposed to be after 2 years or so of updates, because it has, after all, been over 2 years since it came out. I know, right?
How long has it actually been since the last major Starfield update? Because they got sparser and sparser over time.
Time flies when you're having fun. 2 years. Can you believe that? 2 years since Starfield. But yeah, it's been that long. And honestly, when people have to write articles like this, Starfield isn't dead, as Bethesda promises a lot of exciting things. Like, if you ever have to say, no, our game isn't dead, it's not great. It's not great. But I have collected all of the information, all of the little side comments, little leaks and innuendos and intonations all together in this video to share with you Bethesda's plan to save Starfield. They have not given up on it. They've actually continued to work on it, allegedly.
That's, by the way, also what I'm hoping on, because let's be real. I have played Starfield, and you cannot name me a single system in Starfield, a single thing that exists in the game that I would call good. Unironically, by the way, I literally have played it, and I think every part of Starfield is some form of slop. It's bad in every way possible. That there's not a single thing that I like about Starfield. Every system that even has slight potential is mismanaged to the point where it's just sad.
And spend millions of dollars on it behind the scenes, and we should be seeing the results of that.
And some systems are just flat out bad. Did you know that Starfield has crafting? Yeah, no one does, because it's worse than in any game that has ever existed in, you know, Bethesda's library. Like, seriously, New Vegas didn't have crafting, but fuck, at least the attach mods to weapons was fun. Starfield can't even do that.
Soon-ish. And honestly, it couldn't have come a moment too soon, because I think the game does need a little bit of TLC, a little time, love, and care, and I think they could get it to the point where it is
That's a sponsored thing, huh?
Significantly better than it is today, and some of the things they are allegedly working on, I think actually could make the game quantifiably better, but we're going to talk about it. I'm going to share it with you, and I think the fact that you're even watching this video is proof positive that people are interested in the idea of Starfield.
I think most people are interested in the idea of just calling out Bethesda for being garbage. I think people just want Relay to point out their anger at this point more than anything, because if you're a Bethesda fan, the amount of disappointment you're feeling at this point is probably beyond reason. Starfield was, I mean, I was a detractor for Starfield even before the game came out. I was literally a detractor of it from day one, trailer one, pretty much in the first like 20 seconds I saw that thing, because I just saw slop, and I was completely right, obviously, to call it slop, because when you are not even giving players 0.1 second of actual in-game footage where something's happening, you know how bad it is. And all of those problems that I called out were completely on point, which is the best part. Okay? At this point, after Starfield, after everything that Bethesda have done, after the Fallout TV series where, I mean, long-standing fans of the franchise got absolutely decimated because the lore just got obliterated, okay? Moving ahead in time is fine, which is seemingly what Bethesda actually... Look at how everything just gets darker or lighter depending on my hand. I'm a wizard! Ha-ha! Black magic. Beautiful. In any case, I think it's... people just hate all of this, okay? People don't like it. What they did to the Fallout lore is atrocious. Moving forward in time with the lore is fine. Pushing everything ahead and making it develop is fine. But they did it on the expense of already established lore. They just. It's like they were malicious, honestly, about destroying the lore of Fallout with the TV show. Because there was no need to do any of that. There was absolutely no need to destroy any of the lore of the Fallout universe with the TV show. You could have just pushed it ahead, anyway. So many things had happened, pure water and shit like that. You could have done so much. Instead, you chose to destroy what was for no reason. Disgusting.
Don't like how it was executed, right? So if they can fix the execution and add stuff and improve stuff, they actually might end up with a game that has a bit of a renaissance, a resurgence, which is possible even with other space.
He said the thing. He said the line, boys.
Games like No Man's Sky. I mean, let's be honest, No Man's Sky was in a much deeper pit than Starfield was. The pit that Starfield ended up in was the pit of apathy. People just didn't really care anymore. And
bro, that's the worst pit of all. This is why Blizzard is failing. It's literally apathy. No one even cares to shit on Blizzard any longer because people are just so done with this. No one even cares to say bad things about the new Diablo 4 season because people forget it even exists. Apathy is the true death of any game.
Gave up on the game because they found it boring. No Man's Sky was in the pit of despair, and it was much harder to get out of, but they managed it. It took years of updates and hard work, but now that game is tremendous. So never say never is my point. It is possible that they could turn Starfield around, and they are working on it, and I'm going to share with you in this video what they're doing to try and fix it, and I'm going to share with you when I think we're going to hear more about it, because it should be relatively soon. But first,
sponsors.
Okay, so like I said, Starfield is in a rough spot. The game launched back in 2023 to okay reviews, or even pretty good reviews, depending.
No. This is bad. This is horrendously bad. And now it's, by the way, at a 6 point something, which is bad, okay? If I'm seeing anything on Steam below an 8, and it's AAA, I instantaneously assume it's garbage.
On how you look at it, and also depending on which outlet you look at. Some liked it a lot more than others, but in general it was fine. But over the next couple of months it became very clear that things were a little bit different this time around compared to a game like Fallout.
Yeah guys, it was so fine it died in less than a week.
4 or certainly Skyrim. People were reaching the end of the game and moving on very, very quickly. The modding scene largely fell apart, and there were even stories of modders giving up on the game because it was quote unquote ass, as you
most modders gave up on this. He's blatantly lying about this situation. Almost all modders just said Starfield is the worst modding thing ever. While Todd Howard said this is the best modding thing ever. We made it so modders can mod it. Obviously, Todd. By the way, this lie is so understandable. When you why this game is the hardest to mod in all of Bethesda's repertoire, because this was Todd Howard's baby. He, since was a kid, he dreamt about making a game like Starfield. So obviously he's not gonna allow some fucking filthy modders, those stupid peasants, to actually ruin his masterpiece. He's not gonna make it easy for them. So, yeah, Todd Howard just lied. Modding is easier than better. All the modders came out and said, no, this is the worst and hardest game to mod out of anything that Bethesda has ever done.
You can see here. TLDR, I start on Starfield together, but Starfield is ass, so I stopped working on it. Made it open source in case anyone wants to finish it. No, you can't play it yet. This was actually one of the modders that was working on the Starfield Together project that also worked on Skyrim Together, and it basically is a co-op mod that would make it so you could play Starfield with a friend. But even a hardcore Bethesda Game Studios modder like this got fed up with the game and thought it was so mediocre that he gave up on it and walked away. And that happened with a lot of other modding projects as well. And BGS games are largely defined, at least in the long term, by their modding community. Games like Skyrim and even Fallout 4 are largely held together by the modding community. I mean, I'm not joking. The Fallout 4 next gen update that launched middle of last year broke the game so bad that it nuked all of the mods that people were using at the time, and they still haven't.
Yep. And they're not gonna fix it. Not only they haven't fixed it, but they're obviously not planning to fix it. And worst even about that is the fact that the next gen mod that Bethesda put in, it didn't even make the game better. It was supposed to upgrade the graphics, but no one even knows which part of the graphics were supposed to be updated. A lot of the stuff that is supposed to be next gen in Fallout 4, people are comparing and you can't even tell the difference. And in a lot of places where you can tell the difference, the old one looks better.
Fixed it. Like, the game is still broken, and many PC users have to use mods to get the game to even boot. And this is a trend that we will see over the course of this video, which is just that BGS's communication with the community is abysmal. It just is. The complete opposite would be like Warhorse. In case you missed it, I actually got invited out to the very first KCD Fan Fest in Prague just a
Of course, a shill would play a propaganda game. If you haven't seen the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 videos, and you're gonna be like, oh no, this is not woke. First of all, I'm not calling it woke. I'm blatantly calling it propaganda. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is small hat propaganda. Literally, you have not played it until the end. Every single person who has played it in the end literally knows about the tunnels, the chosen ones, and the stuff that you have to do in that game. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is propaganda. Plus, it definitely has a lot of woke shit in it, okay? And Vavra is gonna pay for his next game when it happens, because people are not letting this sliding, okay? And I remind everyone how absolutely disgusting Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is. How blatant propaganda it is.
Few weeks ago, and it was amazing. It was organized by Sir Toby, who is the community manager over at Warhorse, the company behind KCD2, and it was incredible. They had 2,500 people come out to the middle of nowhere in Fort Malashov to talk about the game, meet some of the voice actors and actresses that worked on it, to meet the developers, and all party eating smoked pretzels and sausages together while downing Savior schnapps that they had made at a
Smoked pretzels? Who the hell smokes pretzels? Is that a thing?
Brewery. It was awesome. And it was the polar opposite of everything that BGS has done with the fan base, where they will just not talk to them for months upon months upon months. They'll occasionally do an interview, but only with what's deemed to be friendly channels, where a developer or even a executive.
Dude, Luke is so pissed. Oh my god, he's so pissed that he shilled so hard for so many companies, but now so many companies are they're just ignoring him. Which was the last game? Oh, no, it wasn't Borderlands. I forgot, but there was this game that Luke shilled for extremely hard, and then he did not get the early access review key. And then he was like, this is the worst game ever. It was so funny. Oh my god. By the way, I love this dichotomy of creators. I don't have to explain or justify myself of being a shill, ever. And no one ever accuses me of that. But then we have people like Luke who constantly need to tell people, guys, I'm not shilling. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god, it's so funny. Every second video we watch of Luke, it's in some ways, guys, I am a trusted and reliable source. Bro, just come on. I have said my opinions are up for sales, okay? Warhorse, Vavra, Pinky Toe, Pinky. No, that's also bad. I'm gonna cut that part out. Don't worry. I'm gonna cut it out. 1900. We're cutting that out. Listen, Warhorse. My soul is literally for sale, okay? Just a little bit, just a little bit of money, and my opinions can 100% be bought, okay? And I will redefine the concept of shilling for something, okay? They're gonna name the new type of shilling after me because I do it so good. It's not even a question, okay? You have not seen anything yet. I am worth 10 looks, okay?
like Todd Howard, can go in there and feel like he's not going to be attacked too forcefully, which honestly fair. I mean, I'm literally burning a candle of Todd Howard right now because he is our patron saint, and that's far from the weirdest thing I
True G's know that our savior is Bobby G, original hard R N-word codec, okay? Bobby! God, Bobby! Let me interview you. I will ask all the good questions, like, who was your favorite stewardess? Like, how fun was it to make fun of the losers at Blizzard, okay? How hard did you laugh when you just put in another horse for $100 and the slop lovers gobble it up like there was no tomorrow? God, Bobby Kotick is the true deity of the gaming community.
have in this studio for Todd. Yes, I have a cardboard cutout. He's fine. Like, I get it. This is weird. I understand that. He doesn't have to do an interview with me, but it does just start to feel like they're only going to places where they feel safe and secure, and they don't want to take the risk of like somebody interacting with them in a negative way. So they only talk to the community in very, very carefully orchestrated ways or pre-edited videos and stuff. And even then, when we do get the occasional post, it's kind of cryptic and doesn't really tell us much of anything. No joke, this is the last time in March of 2025 that we got clear communication as to the future of Starfield. There is a later video I will show you where they kind of suggest a couple of things, but this is the last time that the page for Starfield actually came out and specifically stated what was going on with the game. They said, "We know you're eager for an update and we truly appreciate your passion for Starfield." All 10 fan of them. But they go on, "The team has been hard at work, and while we're not ready to share specific details just yet, we have a lot of exciting things planned for the game this year that we can't wait to talk about when the time is right. We're always listening and taking your feedback to heart. Thanks for being..."
Look at this comment. "I beat Starfield on Xbox X Series, but would love to beat it again on PlayStation. Would be awesome if you ported it." I have seen almost the exact same comment. Are these bots? I really wonder, because yeah, some people are stupid enough that you can't tell them apart from bots on Twitter, but there are actually, a lot of bot accounts on Twitter that look like real people from the, picture, the self-stupid description, with all of this crap. There are bots that actually look like real people. And I have seen this before. "Oh, I played Starfield on Xbox. It was great. I would love to now play it on PlayStation. Thank you." Beep boop bop. Yeah, this is not the first time I see this. There's a lot of comments of, "Oh, I played it on X platform. Would love to play it again on the other one." I mean, there's also a chance that they're also... but I have seen too many comments like this. This has to be just a bot network or something like that. Because, I mean, the honestly think... I don't know how many followers Starfield has on Twitter, but I mean, I'm gonna already assume it's botted. Because every big company bots their following.
A part of this journey with us, and that was in response to somebody specifically asking why they haven't communicated anything. And so they responded by communicating once and then not saying anything for months after that. But behind the scenes, they are doing something. They hired a lady by the name of April Bessel to go and file a trademark for them back in July of 2024. And this was for
Oh, we know this.
Starborn, which seems to be a trademark based on these descriptions for a video game something or other and merchandise thereof, and it is a trademark that is being held by ZeniMax Media Incorporated, which also, of course, being the parent company of Bethesda Softworks, which is the parent company of Bethesda Game Studios, would suggest that this could also be for Starfield, perhaps a second Starfield expansion. Todd has said multiple times that they continue to work on Starfield, that they have more content coming. They're excited for
Well, to be fair, Todd has lied so much we can't even be sure that his name is Todd Howard at this point.
Updates, and that they have a year 2 of content planned for the game, despite this being the second year of content and there being basically nothing. It was also really strange because Bethesda was given the honor of having their own dedicated Starfield Direct back in 2023, an honor that at that point was pretty significant. They had only ever done that for like Call of Duty, and that's what they would do the next year. This year was weird because they gave it to Outer Worlds 2. I think because they wanted to charge $80 for that.
Oh man, the Outer Worlds 2 is coming when? On the 10th, on the 20th, or something like that? Dude, I cannot wait for the Outer Worlds 2. It's gonna be so bad. You know it's a woke piece of shit. Like, the Outer Worlds 2 is just garbage. They doubled down, like Bethesda, on literally all the things that people did not like. The Outer Worlds, the biggest problem with the Outer Worlds was from people who played it were pretty much always unanimously the same. Too safe of a story, too little options in what you can choose. The role play was bad. That's it. That's how it is. And Starfield 2 has completely ignored all of this feedback. And their whole marketing shtick is, look, guys, guns, different guns. This one shoots confetti and levels with you. This one makes people small. This one shoots worms. Yeah, no one wants that, okay? It's a nice thing, but that's their whole marketing. And the biggest story element of the Outer Worlds 2 that we have seen so far is probably like roughly the first 1 hour of the game, where you have a choice between how you want to get across a bridge. Do you want to stealth? Do you want to shoot? Do you want to help? Do you want to bribe? And that's pretty much it. And then the biggest second, well, maybe this is the bigger lore thing, but it's about the followers, that all of them look like woke caricatures of people, and that's pretty much it.
That's something they would later backtrack on, but that was a big deal. They got their own showcase from Microsoft, but then this year they were completely absent from the Xbox showcase over the summer. And in the months that have followed, there also have been no updates. Even at Gamescom, there has been no update for Starfield or what's coming next. By this point last year, we had already gotten the Shattered Space expansion, so it's been over a year since the last content drop, which was Shattered Space, which was received quite poorly. And at this point, there's just no mention of what's going on.
Received quite poorly is it's a woeful underestimation of what happened. No one cared, first of all. Shattered Space did not even create a blimp on the player numbers.
At all, but they have continued to work on it. On the Xbox 2 podcast, Jez Corden mentioned specifically that the core team was still working on Starfield. I'll let him explain that right here.
Because obviously, Bethesda's core teams are still working on Starfield, as I said earlier.
I mean, are they though? Are they? I mean, I've seen people now
Are
suggest that they've left Starfield in the dust.
No, Starfield's gonna have more DLC from what I've heard.
This year, next year? I mean...
I don't know when. I just heard that at least the Starfield DLC, and this is post layoffs, by the way, so as far as I know, Starfield DLC hasn't been cancelled.
And the layoffs he's referring to there are the June layoffs that Microsoft hit everybody with, where they kind of decimated multiple studios and teams. It seems like Starfield's DLC survived those layoffs, which is kind of impressive at this point. You think they would have cut it off then, but evidently not, allegedly. One thing he did say, though, was that Starfield is being worked on by Bethesda's core teams. And that is something I've actually heard the opposite of. I think this is an example of why word choice is really crucial.
I don't even understand what's supposed to be Bethesda's core teams, to be completely honest. Like, I have never understood what's the distinguishment between Bethesda's core teams and not. Is it like the situation like with Redfall, where it's done by a different studio, but actually Todd Howard literally made all the decisions for Redfall? And by the way, that's a thing if you do not know. The absolute woe garbage dumpster fire, vampire shooter, survival, whatever game, Redfall, was made by Austin something. I don't remember what's the company's name. It's gone now. Or is it not gone? Whatever, it doesn't matter. But Bethesda was the one who decided everything for that game. They decided how everything looks, how everything feels, how everything goes. Like, it was a Bethesda game, but it was made by another studio. Is that what a core and not core team means? I have no idea even.
I think what he was saying was that Bethesda is putting people they're confident in on the project. So they have people that know what they're doing working on the Starfield DLC. But when you say core team or core teams, it suggests that it's like the A team, it's the core development team that's working on it.
Well, we know the head writer for the new expansion is gonna be everyone's favorite. That's right, Emil Paglarino, who has went on multiple Twitter tirades, just like everyone's favorite Borderlands 4 franchise owner, Robbie, whatever that's. Randy Pitchford, there we go. Randy Pitchford. He, exactly as Randy Pitchford, has gone on multiple Twitter tirades attacking anyone who says his writing isn't good. Okay? He just calls them media illiterate and stupid for not thinking that this is the best thing since sliced bread. It's pathetic.
Which I do not think is true from what I've heard, and also just common sense within the industry. The core team is working on Elder Scrolls 6 and has been for a while. They have a separate team that's working on Starfield, but it's not like Todd's day in, day out is on Starfield.
By the way, I don't know about this, obviously. I don't have any insider information, but just from logical deduction and reasoning, I can assure you that this is 100% the case. Because if they were actually, if the big cheeses and whatnot were actually actively super invested into Starfield, and Bethesda as a whole was super invested into Starfield, you would be hearing updates, you would be hearing a lot of different stuff about it. Because it's already a finished product, okay? You have to hype it up. We would be getting something, but instead we're getting nothing. So obviously they're doing something else but Starfield.
Starfield still. The core team, the main team at BGS, is working on Elder Scrolls 6. They have some people working on Starfield, but the core group is on Elder Scrolls 6. So I've seen some people conflate those and suggest that, oh, so they haven't even started on Elder Scrolls. No, I think it was just a poor choice of words, but I wanted to clarify that at this point. But I think maybe the most interesting thing that has happened with Starfield in the last 6 months basically was this developer spotlight posted by their official Bethesda Softworks YouTube channel, wherein they are doing a deep dive look at Tim Lamb's career. This is also known as Visor Guy. He's
didn't we talk about this not too long ago?
Been at the studio going back 2 decades. This
wasn't this Juicehead? What was this, Juicehead?
A clip from the Making of Oblivion documentary that they made way back in the day when he was just a QA lead, and now he's one of the senior producers on these projects. But as part of this interview, he actually opened up about what they were doing with Starfield, and I'm just gonna let him describe it so that nobody claims I'm misquoting him.
But Starfield is sort of the culmination. It does so many of the things that those other games do, but
every next Bethesda game does everything the previous games have done. So this is how you know Elder Scrolls is going to have some kind of vehicle design. It's going to have player housing. It's going to have base building. All things that we obviously want so much. Well, granted, some people do want to design their own settlement / house, and that's fine. I actually agree with those people. I'm not a fan, but having that in a game is fine. Also, World of Warcraft's housing just dropped. I cannot wait to see listen. The American mindset is incapable of understanding this. But when the Europeans hear about player-owned housing in World of Warcraft, it's just the cotton fields. I'll be straight up with you, okay? Everyone's thinking about one thing, and it's just the cotton fields, okay? You should not have given Europe player housing, okay? All my homies in World of Warcraft retail and every other version of it have a name that you can probably guess what it's supposed to reflect, okay? It is what it is, okay? You should have not, Blizzard, you should have not given Europe player housing. That was a massively bad idea.
4 times as much in a way. Everything is
16 times
what we did before, plus more fidelity,
yeah,
more complexity. To me, Starfield was like making 4 games. You have your I'm running around shooting aliens and space guys. You have your I'm flying around in a spaceship, shooting other spaceships. You have the ship builder game. You have the outpost game. Starfield to me was like making 4 games at once.
All useless.
I think as it comes to Starfield, I'm really excited for players to see what the team's been working on. We have some cool stuff coming, including free updates and features players have been asking for.
Free updates.
As well as a new DLC story. I can't go into all the details just yet, but I will say part of the team has been focused on space gameplay to make the travels there more rewarding. We're also adding some new game systems and a few other smaller delights. There's also some really interesting stuff coming down the pipe from our verified creators. There's some fun stuff. I just want to say thanks. We really appreciate the support and the enthusiasm. We can't wait to get it into the hands of our players.
Okay. Now, to their credit, this is legitimately a cool thing. I do think developer spotlights are awesome. It humanizes the developers. It gives us an inside look at how games are made. I think they should do more of those, and other teams and studios should do more of these. I love this kind of thing. That being said, he said a couple of little interesting things there. For one, he said the team has been working on it, which suggests that it's not like they canceled it and walked away and then came back later. They have been working on it consistently, and they should have updates for it. They say that there's going to be free updates to the game as well to provide some additional content, which I...
Oh god, that's the Creation Club. The free updates, by the way, is the Creation Club. Let's look at the graph since he opened it. Yeah, it's not looking good for Starfield. 56% like ratio. No one's buying this garbage.
And that brings me to the titular topic, Bethesda's plan to save Starfield. What do they think needs fixing, and what are they working on? Well, for one, modders and data miners have found continued information suggesting that Bethesda is doubling and even tripling down on the Creations system, which is their platform for paid mods. They're going to continue offering...
Okay, yeah, that's enough. I mean, the Creations platform is just a money grab slop. That's it. Anyway, that was Luke Stephens, 10 out of 10. Bye.